Hey everyone, I'm back with another Choose Your Own Adventure. Tonight, I'm going to be reading Secret of the Dolphins by Edward Packard, who wrote quite a lot of Choose Your Own Adventure books back in the day. And here's a better look at the cover art. And this is Choose Your Own Adventure number 134. All right, I'll read some of the back cover description on the back. You're the star, 11 exciting endings. Will you discover the legendary city of the Dolphins? You are a summer intern at the renowned Dolphin Institute in Hawaii, hoping to help find the fabled underwater city of the Dolphins and make scientific history. As you're nearing the spot where the treasure-filled city is believed to lie, your group is approached by some boaters. When they press you for details about what you're doing, your suspicions are aroused. How much should you reveal? If you decide to tell them the truth, turn to page 30. If you make up another story, turn to page 70. Think carefully before you decide. If you trust the boaters, they might do as you ask and leave the area, or they could double-cross you and claim the treasures of the Dolphin City for themselves. Oh no. I didn't even know the Dolphins had their own city. What happens next in the story? It all depends on the choices you make. How does the story end? Only you can find out. And the best part is that you can keep reading and rereading till you've had not one, but many incredibly daring experiences. All right. Well, hi, Stephanie. Yeah, I know. Sorry, you missed last week's. Yeah, only 11 endings? That's not a whole lot. It's funny, I can't see my own stream on the computer. Oh, there we are. That's weird. Hi, Sue. Hi, Rob. Yeah, I think we have messed with boaters before, but these were different boaters. I think this was one where we were just searching for treasure or something. This time we're searching for treasure and Dolphin City, but I think both of them were written by Edward Packard. So, Dolphin City, it's called Miami. Hi, Rachel. All right, here we go. Kids can't stop reading the Choose Your Own Adventure stories. And here's some kids ranging in ages from 11 to 17. All right, Secret of the Dolphins. Here are some dolphins here. The real treasure is the dolphin friends we probably won't make along the way. Nope. Won't meet any dolphins and won't turn into a shark either. Illustrated by Tom Laputa. Tom Lapudala. Oh, and they have Space Hawks, Passport, and the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Oh, and Passport, you can do the Tour de France. I wonder if you actually participate in the Tour de France, and you have to decide whether to take blood, get infused with extra blood that has extra red blood cells in it. So whether to cheat in the race. All right, ages 10 and up. This was published in April 1993. Oh, here's a map. That'll be useful. Warning, do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures that you may have when you spend a summer in Hawaii as an intern at the world-famous Dolphin Institute. From time to time, as you read along, you will be asked to make a choice. After you make your decision, follow the instructions to find out what happens to you next. To discover the secret of the dolphins, you'll have to outwit a vicious criminal, survive a natural catastrophe, and win the trust of the dolphins themselves. If you're smart and you're brave, you can do it. Where the seaweed's green and the sand is gritty. Sorry, I can't talk that well tonight. You have to learn to skateboard and then enter the Tour de France. Yes. There was a game for the PlayStation where you could do a race and one person could be on a bicycle and the other person could be on a skateboard. You could actually still win even if you were just on the skateboard the whole time. even though the other person was on a bicycle. Didn't really make much logical sense, but brother and I used to play that game a lot. Anyways. I think it was called like Extreme Sports. Everything was extreme back in the 90s, and here we are with our duffel bag. You can hardly believe that school let out for the summer only 2 days ago as you look out the window of the small plane that has carried you to the island of Kauai in Hawaii. The plane pulls up to the terminal building and stops with a jerk. A minute later, the hatch opens and you climb down the boarding ladder. You sling your duffel bag over your shoulder, then pause for a moment to smell the fresh, fragrant air. A lean, athletic-looking man with a close-cropped beard strides up to you. "Hi there. Are you going to Loali Cove, the Dolphin Institute?" "That's right." He smiles and holds out a hand. "Jack Banta. I'm a graduate student on the staff. I've come to meet you." He grabs your duffel and slings it over his shoulder. "Welcome to Hawaii." Is that AC Slater from Saved by the Bell? It might be. Could be. "Thanks," you say, smiling back at Banta. You can tell already that you're going to like him. You're glad of that, because you'll be spending the next few months at the Dolphin Institute. You were awarded a scholarship for the Institute's summer program, and you and 2 other summer interns will be helping the scientists there in the study of dolphins. The Institute is paying your airfare, room and board, plus a small stipend. You don't know yet what projects you'll be working on, but you like dolphins, and even more, you like the idea of spending the summer in Hawaii. Jack Banta. I only drink Fanta. Did we meet Banta? Wasn't Banta something from Star Wars? Like, you could be like Banta fodder? I'm getting my sci-fi mixed up. If the dolphins eat him, does that mean Banta is Banta fodder? Page 2. Banta drives you along a winding, mountainous road from which you occasionally get spectacular views of the sea. You lean forward in your seat to take in the lush scenery on both sides of the road. Glancing up, you see a blimp passing overhead. You smile as you read the sign on it. "Don't miss Moai." "It's beautiful here," you say. "I have no complaints," Banta says, flashing you a smile. "Do you have any questions about the Institute?" "How many people work there?" you ask. "Well, Dr. Vivaldi's in charge. Besides her, there's just a marine biologist, a zoologist, and myself. Plus, visiting scientists who drop in from time to time, and student interns." Ooh, did he say Dr. Vivaldi?
Yeah.
Oh, Bantha, that's it. Bantha. Honest mistake. Yeah, Dr. Vivaldi, Rachel. Yeah, I know. Wasn't expecting her to be here. The secret is that the Dolphins are sick of our bullshit. Yeah, probably. Oh, uh-oh. I guess Facebook is going to be blocking this video. Okay. Whoops. What sort of work have you been doing? The Institute was founded 6 years ago, and most of our work has involved studying dolphin societies. But a year ago, we began an intensive study of dolphin communication. We believe that someday humans and dolphins will be able to talk to each other. There are lots of problems to be solved. In fact, just figuring out what the problems are is quite a task. He glances at you. But I have a feeling we're going to make a breakthrough this summer. Go on to the next page. Sounds as if I got here just in time, you say with a grin. Are there other scientists studying dolphin communication? There are, Banta says. Dolphin communication is a pretty hot topic right now, but none of the other teams is as advanced as we are. In fact, we actually have to worry about spies. There are plenty of people who don't have respect for dolphins, but want to use them for their own selfish purposes. Purposes, not porpoises. Everything from finding sunken treasure to terrorist activities. Oh, look at that poor dolphin. Trying to use that dolphin for a terrorist activity. Yeah, if humans and dolphins can talk to each other, that probably would cause more problems. Dolphin communication, is that really the name of a Beastie Boys album? I really don't know the Beastie Boys very well. I wouldn't be surprised. The Jeep passes over the crest of a hill, and there, Stretched out before you are the pale blue waters of Lawali Cove. Banter turns onto a winding gravel drive that leads to a comfortable-looking rustic lodge. About a dozen smaller cabins are scattered alongside the cove. A dock extends out into the water in front of the main lodge. A couple of sea skiffs are tied to the pilings alongside the dock, and a large catamaran is moored 200 feet offshore. Banta takes you into the lodge and introduces you to the staff members. Then he shows you around the grounds. This used to be a resort, he says. The owner became fascinated by all the dolphins that came onto the cove. When he retired, he donated the entire place to the Dolphin Institute. Our director, Dr. Nara Vivaldi, lives in the main lodge. You'll be staying in the lodge too, along with the other 2 summer interns, Karen Myers and Dave Chang. The other staff members and I live in the cabins. We all work in the main lodge when we're not out on the water or under it. Nefarious porpoises. So we get to stay in the same lodge that Dr. Vivaldi is staying in, huh? Yeah, using dolphins to fight. Yeah, that's actually, if this was right in the 80s, it probably would be that would be what the good guys, quote unquote, would be doing. We just want to capture all the dolphins and use them to stop the commies before they take over the world. Gotta stop those Soviets. Dangerous. Those Ruskies. Page 56. We're going to be in a jacuzzi with Dr. Vivaldi again. Yeah, we're in Hawaii with her. That's not bad. Right. You look out over the sparkling waters of the cove. I hope I get a chance to do some sailing, you say eagerly. I've never done it before. You sure will. Frank Schaefer's in charge of all the boats. He'll teach you everything you need to know. But I'll give you your first introduction right now. If you're ever out sailing and you see 3 red squares flying from the flagpole and hear a siren, come back in right away. It means there's a tsunami warning. Tsunami, you repeat. You mean a tidal wave? Right. We tend to have one every few years, and we're about due for one now. They occur any time there's an earthquake under the Pacific. I hope I missed the next one, you say. Are the other 2 interns here yet? They are. They went into town with Dr. Vivaldi to get supplies. You'll meet all 3 of them at dinner. You glance around. So where are the dolphins? I thought they'd be in a big pool, but I don't see one. Go on to the next page. Wait, so we've never sailed, and we're not sure what a tsunami is? What kind of preparation have we done for this whole thing? You've loved dolphins all your life, but you never went sailing, or you're not quite sure what a tsunami is, but the science in this book is faulty at best, as usual. I think Edward Packard just does the bare minimum research, but it should be enough, hopefully. Most people see dolphins in marine parks, so they expect that, Banta says. But we believe you can't learn to communicate with dolphins by cooping them up in tanks, no matter how many fish you feed them. That's why we study the dolphins exclusively in their natural environment. Do you have a net at the entrance to the cove to keep them from escaping? Yes. We keep them all trapped. That way it's totally natural. That's what natural means by, you just said natural environment, right? If you put a net at the entrance, how is that natural? Oh man. We know so much about dolphins for sure, yes. The scientist shakes his head. The dolphins are free to come and go, but they like it here. Some dolphins go away for months at a time, but they nearly always come back. Wait, I think that's the same dolphin we saw before. If Hawaii had a tsunami every few years, it would make the news. Probably. We just get tsunamis all the time. It's no problem. We're used to it. That's like saying that Iceland gets giant volcanoes all the time. Every so often a giant volcano erupts and just covers the whole island with lava, but we just rebuild. We have to protect the natural environment by keeping anyone from escaping from it. Yes. Dolphin nets. No, Dr. Vivaldi would never kidnap a dolphin. Oh, Page 94, yes. There are some now, you exclaim. You've just spotted the graceful arched backs of two dolphins, surfacing and then diving as they swim past the dock. Banta shields his eyes and looks out over the water. Alceste and Hermione. I can tell by their markings. Alceste has a nick in his dorsal fin. They probably know a new intern has arrived and have decided to investigate. You're kidding. Banta raises one eyebrow. I think I'm kidding, he says. But who knows? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Alceste? Alceste? Not sure. Turn to page 25. That night you meet the other interns, Karen and Dave, who are both about your age. Karen is from Iowa, and she's never seen the ocean before, much less a dolphin. Dave is from Los Angeles. He plans to be a marine biologist someday, and he's been on a couple of whale watch trips, where he saw dolphins swim alongside a ship. I'm more interested in dolphins than whales, because they're closer to human size, he says. I feel we can really get to know them. You also meet Dr. Nera Vivaldi, the director of the Institute. She's a small, gray-haired woman who must be well up in her 60s, but she looks as trim and fit as an athlete. Nice. There's a pool table in the lodge, and after dinner you start a game with Karen and Dave. Dr. Vivaldi joins you for your second game. You three picked a good summer to be here, she tells you. We're on the edge of a breakthrough in dolphin communication, and you're likely to be here when it happens. All right, I'm assuming the person all the way on the right is Dr. Vivaldi, showing us some pool tricks there. Yeah, we already know how trim and fit she is. That's true. Yeah, how did they get this internship? I went on a whale watch once and saw a couple of dolphins, I think. So I said, hey, I went on a whale watch. Can I have an internship? And they're like, sure. Turn to page 63. I like dolphins better than whales because whales are too big. Whales are just too big for me to understand. And dolphins are not, they're closer to human size, but I mean, that's like saying like a cat is like, I like cats more than ants because they're like closer to human size. Like I don't, it's like, all right. Page 63. She is trying to seduce through billiards. Reminds me of an old, we were listening to these, this guy was talking about these like Norse sagas yesterday, and there was like this like witch kind of woman like in Iceland that would like kept trying to like seduce this like teenage boy, and he kept like declining her, like turning her down, so eventually she had to like do some witch stuff to him, rip his skin off. Anyways, yeah, that night you're almost too excited to sleep. You can't wait to see what the summer holds in store. Your biological clock hasn't yet adjusted to the change in time zones between the mainland and Hawaii. And what about Dr. Vivaldi's biological clock? Okay. It's barely getting light the next morning when you sit up in bed, wide awake and ready to go. You head down to the dining room to see if you can get some breakfast. To your surprise, Banta is already there, sipping coffee and reading a scientific journal. He looks up as you enter. You're up early, he says with a smile. The cook's not here yet, but there's plenty of milk and juice in the fridge, and you can help yourself to fresh pineapple, cereal, bananas, toast, whatever you want. While you're at it, put some bread in the toaster for me, will you? Sure. You go to work in the kitchen. While you're waiting for the toast to pop, Banta comes in to pour himself some more coffee. What's scheduled for today, you ask? Not much, actually, since it's Sunday. I'm going to spend most of the day in the lab, listening to tapes. I think I'm close to a discovery about what dolphins say to each other. That's cool. Can I come listen to the tapes? Are we going to make a mixtape for Dr. Vivaldi, maybe? Turn to page 97. If you decide to make a mixtape for Dr. Vivaldi, turn to page 41. The scientist takes a sip of his coffee. You're welcome to join me, though I'm afraid you might get pretty bored sitting around listening to whistles and clicks. It's going to be a beautiful day. I heard the other interns talking about trying out the sailboards. Frank Schaefer is a real pro at windsurfing. I know he'd be glad to give you some lessons. You glance out at the cove, shimmering in the early morning light. Windsurfing sounds like a lot of fun. On the other hand, Banta said he might be on the verge of a new discovery. It would be awfully exciting to be a part of it. He decided to make a mixtape of all Bon Jovi songs for Dr. Vivaldi. Turn to page 41. I don't think there actually are any options. I don't want to dash anybody's dreams. Never mind. I'm sure there is an option there somewhere. If you decide to go windsurfing, turn to page 40. If you decide to join Banta in the lab, turn to page 114. I feel like with either option, we're going to do some dolphin research, but get windsurfing, you could almost call that like wet lab research. Get it? Because it's in the water. We're in the lab with Banta, obviously. We're just going to be on the computer, so. Unless he dunks a bunch of coffee onto the computer, it probably won't. Probably stay pretty dry. Windsurfing, go to the lab. Stephanie and Rob say go to the lab. Rachel says windsurfing. Valerie also says lab. I think we're doing the lab. Maybe we'll go back to windsurfing if that doesn't turn out okay. I mean, they didn't say anything about Dr. Vivaldi going windsurfing, so. Right. You decide to spend the day with Banta. He leads you back to his lab, a soundproof room at the back of the lodge. He points out various pieces of special equipment. You'll be hearing the sounds of our dolphins on that speaker. They're from a recording I made just yesterday. The sound waves will be displayed graphically on that video screen. This machine over here prints the readout on a long roll of paper. The lines look squiggly and meaningless, but we can often find patterns in them that we wouldn't notice just listening to the tapes. Banta flips a switch. Listen to this. A moment later, you hear a dolphin call. Then a series of clicks. Then a sound like a warbling bird. The sounds are pretty and interesting, but you don't know how anyone could figure out what they mean. Banta looks quite excited, however. Can you tell what the dolphins are saying, you ask? I have a few ideas, he says, but I have to run this acoustical data through the computer. It's programmed to identify patterns of sound and suggest ways they might relate to each other. Here we are talking to Banta. It seems like Banta's his legs are too short or something. Something seems off here. Unless that chair that we're on is really, really high or something. I'm not sure. Oh, it just seems weird. Okay. Turn back to page 12. You almost spit out your drink when I made dolphin sounds. I don't know how dolphins actually sound, so I was like, I don't know. If you decide to express your feelings for Dr. Vivaldi by playing her the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack for 12 consecutive hours, turn to page 68. Yeah. I don't think I don't know, maybe you should like that. What page was this? 12. Banta seems hypnotized by the tapes, but you're beginning to wish you'd gone windsurfing with the others. You're not being any help to Banta sitting here, and it doesn't seem as if he's going to be making any breakthroughs today after all. Finally, the tape ends, the room is silent again, and the printer stops spewing out paper. Banta enters some commands into the computer. Then he turns around and notices you sitting there. He starts, and you realize that he must have forgotten you were in the room. Oh, sorry. I don't think I'm explaining enough, he says. The sounds you just heard were a conversation between Alceste and Hermione. The computer may tell us more in a few minutes, but I think that they were talking about a school of fish they'd found. Really? You can tell that? Yes, but that alone is not a big achievement. Just because a dolphin makes a sound that means fish over that way doesn't mean they'll be able to talk with us. Then why did you think you were on the brink of a discovery? I'll show you, Banta says. He inserts a different tape into the machine and switches it on. Dolphin sounds fill the room. The monitor and the printer start up again. Turn to page 66. Banta is hacking. He's hacking the Dolphin Matrix. Yeah, you were right, Rachel. Maybe we should have gone windsurfing. I don't know, though. Maybe Banta's about to drop some knowledge here. You close your eyes and listen as carefully as you can. It's impossible to tell if any of the sounds means anything in particular, but one thing you notice is that the sounds on this tape seem much more complicated and varied than those on the first one. Once you even hear a sound like a flipper slapping the water, as if a dolphin might be gesturing to make a point. The thought makes you smile, though you know it's rather far-fetched. The tape ends. Banta cuts the scroll that has been printed out. Then he picks up the first scroll and pins the two tapes one above the other on the wall. He turns to you. You've heard the tapes. Here's how they look. Notice anything different about them? The bottom one, the second recording, looks much more complicated, you say. It has all sorts of extra squiggles and blips. Banta nods. No doubt about it. Whatever the dolphins were saying to each other, it's certain that they were communicating something much more complicated on the second recording than on the first. But how does that help us? Go on to the next page. Banta apparently doesn't hear your question. He has returned to the computer and is busy punching in more commands. Without turning to look at you, he says, I'm hooking this into the supercomputer at the University of Hawaii. It's too sophisticated for our equipment to handle alone. Why do you think the second tape is so different from the first, you ask? Same dolphin again. The dolphins were talking about fish. Oh, wow. This seems fishy. Yeah, maybe they will eventually. This seems kind of fishy, Banta. I don't know. Page 13. We can't be sure, Banta says, but it's significant that the first tape was made when the dolphins knew we were around, while the second was made late at night with a secretly hidden microphone. You mean they say things when they think they're alone, that they don't when humans are around? Banta grins. That's exactly what I mean. At that moment, Dr. Vivaldi comes in. There you are, she says to you. I was going to take the interns on a drive around the island. I hear Karen and Dave went windsurfing, but maybe you'd like to come with me. It will give you a chance to see some of the great scenery we have around here. You glance at Banta. Go ahead, he says. We can't do anything more until I get my analysis back from the supercomputer. I should have it by late this evening. He then explains to Dr. Vivaldi what he's discovered. Jack, this is very exciting, she says. Let's discuss it tomorrow at breakfast. For now, why don't you take a couple of hours off and come along on our drive? Sounds great, he replies. Let's go. All right, we're going on a road trip with Dr. Vivaldi. I guess we did make the right decision. I don't know, if we'd gone windsurfing, maybe Dr. Vivaldi would have turned up windsurfing with us. Nah. I don't think Dr. Vivaldi's into windsurfing. Maybe she is. Oh, we didn't even talk about our drive with Dr. Vivaldi. What a jip. A ripoff. Ripoff, right?
Yes.
Yes. At breakfast the next morning, Banta tells everyone what he learned the night before. The supercomputer can analyze far more possibilities than our equipment can, Banta explains to you, Karen, and Dave. As a result, it can begin to interpret some of the dolphins' language, which of course is nothing like our own. For the dolphins, two different sounds might mean the same thing, or the same sound might mean two different things. It can depend on the circumstances. No wonder we were having trouble communicating with them, you say. But Jack, Dr. Vivaldi says, you say the supercomputer deciphered some of it? Banta consults his notes for a moment. This much was clear. Alceste was saying that it was time for him to go there. Hermione said she understood. Go there, Dr. Vivaldi echoes. But where? That we don't know, Banta says. The Dolphins didn't need to say more. Hermione evidently knew what Alceste was referring to. Did you tell him don't go there? Yeah, our time with Dr. Vivaldi is not for everyone's eyes. It's a private time with just us and Dr. Vivaldi and Banta. Banta was there too. It's funny how it just cut that part out though. Was that all they said, you ask? No, they talked about a lot of other things, Banta says. But even the supercomputer couldn't decipher most of it. Of course, the more recordings it listens to, the more data it will compile. Eventually you should be able to understand most of what they say. This is extraordinary, Dr. Vivaldi says. But what fascinates me most is that the Dolphins seem to have been talking about things they would never discuss when humans were around. Do you think really that it's fair to spy on them? Karen asks. I've thought about that, Banta says. If I were caught spying on humans this way, I'd be pretty embarrassed. Why should I not pay the same respect to these creatures, who may be just as intelligent and aware as we are? It's in the interests of science, Dave says. A lot of bad things have been done in the interests of science, you point out. But we aren't going to harm the Dolphins. If anything, we want to help them, Dave says. That's true, says Dr. Vivaldi. So I think I'll approve Jack's snooping, but we must remember that although we wouldn't use what we learned to hurt the Dolphins, there are others who might. For that reason, we must keep everything we find secret until we're sure that no harm can come from revealing it. Turn to page 100. Not a lot of choices so far. Hopefully I have some more choices to make soon. Fair enough, Banta says. On that basis, we'll keep up the secret monitoring of the dolphin talk for now. What I'd really like to do is follow Alceste on his trip there. If he hasn't already left, you say. He may have. I saw him off the dock just before breakfast, Frank says. He nudged against some other dolphins and then took off towards the inlet. We could follow him in the catamaran, you say. Frank shakes his head. Alceste would know that we were following him. Dr. Vivaldi nods. Dolphins can hear boats miles away, even sailboats. If this place is something they talk about only in secret, they're certainly not going to lead us to it. If only there were another way of following him, Banta says. Dr. Vivaldi looks thoughtful for a moment. Suddenly she grins. There is another way. You've all seen that advertising blimp over the island. Grace Segovia, the owner, is a good friend of mine. She's fascinated by dolphins. In fact, she's one of the trustees of the Institute. We could follow Alceste in the blimp. Banta's face lights up. It's perfect. Dolphins aren't afraid of birds or planes. They don't care if it's going to rain. They aren't in the habit of looking up at the sky. Wait, but if the dolphins are underwater, how are we going to see them from a blimp? Turn to page 21. I guess we'll figure it out. Yeah, this is before Dolphin Twitter kind of blew up their privacy, right? Now everybody knows what the Dolphins are thinking. No more secrets, Dolphins. Yeah, the book was written in the 80s, so their supercomputer had the processing power of a flip phone, pretty much. So by now we should know all the Dolphin secrets, right? We know everything they're saying. Yeah, if the Dolphins have can communicate well enough to talk about a secret place, then okay. Then I'm sure they know they're being followed in a blimp. If they built a secret dolphin city, then yeah, I think they know about blimps. Dr. Vivaldi gets up from the table. I'm going to call Grace right now. The moon is almost full. If the weather holds, we could track Alceste even at night. She turns to Frank. Take the jeep out to the point and see if you can spot Alceste going through the inlet. Bring your radio phone so you can let us know where he heads once he's out in the ocean. You bet. Frank hurries out. Dr. Vivaldi follows him. A few minutes later, she returns. Grace loved the idea. Not only is she willing to lend us the blimp, she'll even come along to pilot it. Now, we have no time to waste. I'd like an intern to come with me on the blimp. She lays a hand on your shoulder. You've shown the most initiative by working in the lab with Jack Banta, so I'm giving you the first choice. You can leave with me in 5 minutes for the airport, or stay here and work on the computers. I'd like to come along, you say immediately. Are you sure? I better warn you, the blimp trip will probably be quite tedious, she says. You won't be able to go swimming or sailing for quite a while, and tracking Alcest will mean staring down at the ocean through binoculars, hour after hour. The biggest discovery might come right here in the computer lab, so think carefully before you make up your mind. If you decide to go on the blimp, turn to page 76. If you decide to stay at the Cove, turn to page 108. Yeah, we can never get bored with Dr. Vivaldi. Wouldn't be tedious when she's with us, right? I assume we're going with Vivaldi. Maybe we can share the binoculars with her. She'll look through one eye and you look through the other. No. She's trying to convince us to stay behind. Why is that? I don't think she's doing a very good job convincing us of staying behind. Or do we want to stay behind? No, I think use them Vivaldi style. All right, we're going with Dr. Vivaldi, I assume. We're getting on the blimp. All right, 76. I'll go with you on the blimp, you say. Good. Dr. Vivaldi is already headed towards the door. Get your things together, she says over her shoulder. Hurry. A few minutes later, you and Dr. Vivaldi are in her car on your way to the airport. You hang on to the hand grip as Dr. Vivaldi whips the car around one mountainous curve after the other. You reach the airport in what must be record time and screech to a stop in front of the blimp. A short, dark-haired woman wearing a tan flight jacket breaks off her conversation with two ground personnel and walks briskly towards you. Sonira, she calls to Dr. Vivaldi. Here I am, ready to go dolphin chasing. Dr. Vivaldi jumps out of the car. You're great to do this on such short notice, Grace. What can I say? I like excitement, Grace says with a grin. Dr. Vivaldi turns and introduces you. Grace gives you a vigorous handshake, then turns back to Dr. Vivaldi. Frank Schaefer called a couple of minutes ago. He said that when he lost sight of Alcest, the Dolphin was swimming at about 10 knots, heading north-northwest. Then there's no time to lose, Dr. Vivaldi says. Let's get going. And here we are, meeting Grace. And here we are with Dr. Vivaldi. Good times. Yeah, we never have to ask if we prefer to hang out with Dr. Vivaldi or not. It's always assumed. All right, page 23. 10 minutes later, you're airborne in the blimp, cruising over the ocean. Grace estimates that you'll catch up with Alcest in a little over half an hour. You scan the surface of the waves through your binoculars. The ocean is quite calm, with only occasional whitecaps on the crests of the swells. But after half an hour has passed, you still see no sign of the Dolphin. Dr. Vivaldi glances at her watch. It's still a little too soon, she says. Give it another 5 minutes or so. Hope Alcest doesn't change course, you say. Dr. Vivaldi shows you the chart she is holding. She runs her finger along the north coast of Kauai. I don't think he'll change course until he rounds this point, she says. She picks up her binoculars. We'll both keep watch until we spot him. 15 more minutes pass, then 20. Dr. Vivaldi begins to look worried. She asks Grace to slow down and steer the blimp in a circle. Maybe Alcest decided to take some time out to chase a few fish, you say. Dr. Vivaldi nods. You're probably right. Page 48. Then you spot a dolphin breaking the surface. You recognize the nick in the dorsal fin. It's Alcest. I see him, you cry. Dr. Vivaldi trains her binoculars on the spot where you're pointing, but the dolphin is already submerged. She watches until he surfaces again. It's Alcest, all right. Good work. She smiles at you. Now comes the boring part I warned you about. You and I will take turns keeping Alcest in sight. I'll take the first shift. You might want to try to get some shut-eye. We don't know how far he's going, and we have to stay alert. Turn to page 64. During the hours that follow, you and Dr. Vivaldi take turns peering down at the traveling dolphin through your binoculars. Your patience pays off. I know every dolphin picture in this book is identical. I think they are. Yeah, they are identical. How did she end up babysitting while she's trying to do grant research? That makes no sense. Yes, during the hours that follow, you and Dr. Vivaldi take turns peering down at the traveling dolphin through your binoculars. Your patience pays off. About mid-afternoon of the second day, Assess joins a large group of dolphins that are diving repeatedly in the same area, often staying down for 15 or 20 minutes at a time. There's something down there that the dolphins find very interesting, you say. What can it be? I plan to find out, Dr. Vivaldi says. She begins to rig a hydrophone to a line. We'll drop this into the water and see what we can hear. Then I'll drop a sonobuoy that will take echo pictures of the seafloor. Grace keeps the blimp hovering about 100 feet over the spot where the dolphins are diving. Dr. Vivaldi begins lowering the hydrophone into the water. You glance around, looking for more dolphins, and notice a small yacht about a mile away. It appears to be heading your way. You point it out to Dr. Vivaldi. Hold on, here's all the dolphins. It's a secret. I know, like, we're 40 minutes in and we still haven't gotten to the Dolphin City. I know, I realize that, Rachel. It's true. Yeah, like, where's the Dolphin City? Like, this is a real... The setup is, like, taking forever on this. It probably is an evil yacht, I bet. There's probably some pirates. Dolphin pirates. Oh, that's almost the end of the book that I have to go to here. Dr. Vivaldi glances at the yacht, scowling. They're probably curious about what a blimp is doing here. Call them on the radio phone and ask them to stay well clear. Tell them we're doing scientific research. Dr. Vivaldi straps on her earphones and hunches over the small portable computer that will help her monitor the dolphin sounds. You set this transmitter for general short-distance transmission, then hold down the speaker button. Yacht on course 045, this is the blimp dead ahead of you. Do you read me? The answer comes back immediately. This is Sea Fox. We read you. You glance out the window. The yacht is still heading right towards you. Sea Fox, please stay well clear of this area, you say. We are doing scientific research. This is Sea Fox. We understand your request. What kind of scientific research? Go on to the next page. You're not sure how to respond. You remember Banta's warning about all the unscrupulous people who would like to use the dolphins for their own greedy purposes. Maybe you should pretend to be conducting a geographic survey or something, just in case. But the voice from the Sea Fox sounded friendly and curious, not threatening. Besides, the yacht is probably close enough by now for its passengers to see the dolphins themselves. If they suspect that you're lying, it could pique their curiosity even more, and if they don't change course soon, the whole project will be ruined. If you tell the truth, turn to page 30. If you tell them that you're conducting a geographic survey, turn to page 70. We are studying a secret dolphin city here. Sea Fox. Come on. David Duchovny? Where's David Duchovny?
I asked who named Sea Fox.
Oh, Sea Fox. Sea Fox Mulder. Lie? Should we lie to them? Say we're doing geographic research? The description of thought sounds very much like we want to tell the truth. That is true. We want to tell the truth, but should we tell the truth? Is that the right thing to do? Should we always maintain a policy of truth? I mean, Depeche Mode said that could cause our problems to multiply. Lie. We are researching none of your biz. Anybody else have an opinion on whether we should lie or tell them the truth? Yeah, truth has gotten us very dead in the past, though. That's true. I think we'll try to lie to them. See how that works. You immediately radio the yacht. This is the blimp to the northwest. We are conducting a geographic survey. Please keep clear. Understood, someone on the yacht radios back. We will comply with your request. Thank you. You sign off, then watch the yacht through your binoculars. It changes course, and after a moment you can see that there's a cloth draped over the registration numbers on the bow. When you tell Dr. Vivaldi this, she grabs the binoculars and takes a look. I'll notify the Coast Guard, she says, though the yacht will probably be gone by the time they can get out here to investigate. When you get back to the Dolphin Institute, Dr. Vivaldi transmits her sonar pictures to the supercomputer for analysis. She has the results by early the next day, and she calls together the staff members and interns to review them. Banta, Karen, and Dave are eager to talk about what they've learned from studying tapes of dolphin conversations in the cove, but it's obvious that Dr. Vivaldi has more important news. The sound picture shows a whole city down there. The dolphins have a city, she tells the assembled group, her voice betraying her excitement. You mean the dolphins can build cities? Dave asks incredulously. Turn to page 44. Not build, Dr. Vivaldi says. Find. How can that be? Karen asks. A city under the ocean? It's like Atlantis, Dr. Vivaldi says. This city might be called Pacificus. It was obviously built by some ancient island people of the Pacific. I would guess that the land it was built on slowly sank under the sea. For a while, the residents must have worked desperately to hold the water back with dikes. Then, perhaps, an earthquake struck and the whole city was submerged, but it's remarkably well preserved. This is quite a discovery, you say. Indeed. Dr. Vivaldi runs her hand through her hair. His mouth is drawn into a thin line. You seem worried, Nara, Banta says. I am, she replies. The dolphins are so happy swimming around that city. They come from great distances to visit it. But if word got out about it, every treasure hunter in the world would be diving down there, looking for gold and jewels, littering the place, drilling, blasting, destroying the dolphins' world. She clenches her fists. The dolphins have a secret, and we must keep it from them. Go on to the next page. You can imagine having scientists having a conversation. We have found the dolphin city. Yeah, finally we're talking about the dolphin city. Only took 50 minutes. Dr. Ball is just making up stuff. Maybe it's called Pacificus. That's it. Yeah. As you listen to this, conflicting thoughts whirl through your mind. You'd like to let the dolphins keep their city untouched, but you can't help thinking about the unimaginable treasures that might be hidden there. You'd like to get in on the treasure hunt yourself. Obviously, you can't do both. And here's the dolphin city. There must be some awesome treasures there we can just dig up. Destroy the whole city in search of treasures. If you decide to help keep the dolphin city a secret, turn to page 90. If you decide to become a treasure hunter, turn to page 39. I think I'm going to become I think I'll just become a treasure hunter today. I woke up this morning. You know what? Maybe this whole life I've been doing wrong. I just need to become a treasure hunter now. Why we don't care about treasure instead of seeing a cool dolphin city? Wait, we want to hide? Yeah, we want to hide the dolphin city so we can loot it. Help the dolphins? Yeah, does anyone think we should become a treasure hunter? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, we're keeping the dolphin city a secret. No, Rachel, I hope we don't want to hide the dolphin city, so we can just loot it for ourselves. No treasure hunting. Can we still visit the dolphin city if we keep it a secret, though? I guess we'll I guess we'll keep it a secret, though. We're not going to, like, start digging up the Dolphin City. That would be sad. Unless there were some really cool riches there. I don't know. You all agree to keep your discovery a secret so that the Dolphins will never be disturbed in their city. About a week later, a tsunami, a tidal wave caused by an underwater earthquake, strikes the north coast of Kauai, carrying away the Institute's boats, dock, and shorefront cabins. Fortunately, there is ample warning, and no one is injured, but your stay at Lawali Cove will be cut short. Dr. Vivaldi announces that the Institute will have to close for repairs. At dinner, the night before you and the other interns are to leave, Dr. Vivaldi holds another staff meeting. I was hoping for something other than a tidal wave this summer, she says. I feel better if we had learned to communicate with the dolphins as we hoped. Perhaps I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that the dolphins could speak to us but have chosen not to. We are scientists, want to learn everything we can about nature, but we also want to respect nature and respect intelligent creatures, just as we would other humans. Therefore, I've decided that I'm not going to investigate dolphins any further. As far as I'm concerned, they have their world and we have ours, and I'm not sure which is better. Just like any scientist, I'm just going to stop researching. That's what it makes a good scientist. You just want to stop learning things. Well, Dr. Vivaldi knows best. I don't want to question her judgment. I mean, she is Dr. Vivaldi after all. Next week there's a tsunami. No biggie. Yeah, Dr. Vivaldi's kind of strange for a scientist. A little different. In the years ahead, whenever you're at the ocean, you always look out, hoping to see dolphins playing among the waves. And you think about what Dr. Vivaldi said about their different world. As much as you respect the scientist, you're not sure you agree with her. Someday, you hope to return to Hawaii and get to know the dolphins better. You'd like dolphins and people not just to be at peace with each other, but to be friends. Yeah, if she stops researching this, she's got like 10 other things that she's obviously researching. I mean, she's researching like space and like exobiology and all these other things. So I don't think she'll have a problem researching other things. You're right. Yeah, should we try to do the treasure hunting thing? Maybe we can meet the dolphins that way. Where was that? Where is it? Yeah, tell them the truth. We're doing a geographic. Don't tell them the truth. That was the right choice. Not telling them the truth. I know that dolphin picture keeps coming up over and over again. Oh yeah, she researches ghosts too. I forgot about that. Combine her research interests and research ghost dolphins. I believe that the dolphins can become ghosts. I'm going to research this. 44. Yes, okay. So we'll decide to become a treasure hunter. See how that works out. The chance of uncovering incredible riches is too great a temptation. A few days after the meeting, a tidal wave strikes the island. There are no serious injuries, but Dr. Vivaldi announces that the Institute will be closing for the rest of the summer in order to repair the property that was damaged. You pretend to leave the island with the other interns, but in actuality, you take a room at a small inn nearby, using the extra money you brought along for the summer to pay your room and board. That weekend, you go into town and walk along the docks where charter boats are lined up. One of them, named the Amy Lou, has a sign that says, Captain Bob Scuba Diving Trips. A man with a grizzled beard and a yachting cap is sitting on a deck chair on the dock, feet up on a crate, reading a magazine. You walk over to him. I got a bad feeling about this. Anything that's called Captain Bob Scuba Diving Trips, I don't know. Wasn't there a guy like on TV named Captain Bob that would like teach you how to draw animals? Pretty sure there was somewhere. Yeah, we lied to Dr. B. Oh, that just seems wrong. Oh yeah, we're going back. Yeah, we're done researching and stuff. Guess we're going back home now, Dr. B. See you later. Are you Captain Bob, you ask? That's my handle, he says, barely looking up. Ever dive for treasure? He peers at you over the magazine. Not in a long time. My customers mostly want to look at fish. We dive near reefs or old wrecks. The fish love wreck ships. Would you be interested in looking for treasure, you say? The mariner takes off his cap and scratches his forehead. Sure, if you know where some is. I do, you say. He tosses the magazine aside and eyes you closely. Really? How much treasure are you talking about? A whole city full, you say. Oh, you don't say, he says. Now who told you a yarn like that? The captain's tone is sarcastic, but he has a glitter in his eye. You know he's interested, despite his skepticism. Let's just say I learned it from the Dolphins, you say. You've been out at that Dolphin Institute? Here we are at Captain Bob's scuba diving trips. And there's Captain Bob himself, reading his giant newspaper. Actually, I think it's not a giant newspaper. That's like pretty much how big newspapers were back then. I've just forgotten how big a newspaper would be when you totally unfolded it. Hard to imagine like people were reading newspapers. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but I can imagine it. Yeah, the amount we're telling him, we should have just told the Sea Fox, like we were telling. Yeah, well, how about you? Just you come out on the boat with me to where this treasure is. Just you. And then we'll. Then you can bring your friends next time. I totally won't kill you. I was a summer intern, but not anymore, you answer. There are better things to do. Okay, Captain Bob says, getting to his feet. Just where is this city full of treasure? Can you find it on a chart? Yes, you say. I know the latitude and longitude. I'll show you once we're on our way. You can bring anyone else along that you want. But I get half of anything we find. You get the other half. You can split it up any way you want. Captain Bob looks you in the eye. You're a tough bargainer, he says. How far away is this treasure? About 150 miles, you say. We can get there in a day, if the weather stays this good. He looks up at the deep blue sky. Weather looks like it will hold, he says. But how can I be sure you know what you're talking about? Look, you say, I wouldn't want to spend a couple of days rocking around in a small boat if I didn't have a good reason. The mariner chews on his lip for a moment. Then he says, Business is kind of slow right now. Guess I'll take a chance. Not much to lose. Go on to the next page. And a lot to gain, you say. He scowls at you. Yeah, I've heard that one before. The following morning at 6 a.m., you board the Emmylou. Captain Bob and his first mate, Harry, are already on deck. And I assume that is not Harry. Yeah, that wasn't bargaining. That was just saying, we'll do this and this. You drive a hard bargain just saying stuff. And then I tell you that you're bargaining. That's pretty good. He has a glitter in his eye. Oh, he has glitter. The Mariah Carey movie in his eye. Oh, okay. Did you see he has a glitter in his eye? Hold on a second. I've got a piece of glitter in my eye. Let me get some water to flush that out. Not seawater, though. It hurts my eyes. Harry is one of the top divers around here, Captain Bob says, gesturing towards the other man who nods at you. Harry is small but muscular, with the leathery skin of someone who's spent a life at sea. You hold out your hand. He shakes it so hard it hurts. Harry casts off the lines. Captain Bob coaxes the boat out into the channel, then guns the engine. A few minutes later the boat passes through the inlet, rolling and pitching as it plows into the ocean swells. You give Captain Bob the latitude and longitude of the Dolphin City and follow him to the work table, where he marks a spot on the chart. Interesting, he says, pointing. Says here there are breakers right there. That's usually a sign of dangerous shoals, but there's so little water over them that when a bit of sea is running, the waves break just as if they were coming up on the beach. Ships and boats stay clear of places like that. He looks at you suspiciously. That's probably why the city hasn't been discovered, you say. Captain Bob grunts. Maybe so. He measures the distance on the chart. We should be there before sundown, he says. We'll drop a marker buoy and then just lay off overnight, taking turns on watch. We'll start diving at dawn. If there's any treasure down there, we'll find it. Yeah, Harry, I don't know about Harry. It's the leathery skin of someone whose skin is made of leather. The fact that he like shook her hand and almost crushed it, that is not reassuring. Like it's just us on the boat with Captain Bob and like short, muscular, strong-armed Harry. So, yeah, I bet Dr. B will like swoop in and like say she's like very disappointed in us. The Amilu plows through a light chop on the ocean most of the day. It's about 4 in the afternoon when Captain Bob yells down from the wheelhouse, "Latitude north 22 degrees 50 west, 50 feet. Longitude west 158 degrees 17 feet. That's where you told us to go, and that's where we are. Does it look familiar?" Harry guffaws, and you smile a little at this joke. One patch of ocean looks just like any other. "Depth here is only 90 feet and very irregular," Captain Bob says. "Could be over that city of yours right now." "Hey, a dolphin!" Harry shouts suddenly. You and Captain Bob turn to look where he's pointing. One dolphin after another arches out of the water, their eyes on your boat. After a moment, they dive and disappear beneath the waves. "I have a feeling this is the spot," you say. "Okay." Bob throttles down to an idling speed. "Get your scuba gear on. We can get a dive in before sunset." Harry, who is an expert diver, helps you with your scuba gear, shows you how it works, and reviews the safety rules with you. Meanwhile, Captain Bob has rigged up a ladder and a floating platform at the stern of the boat. You and Harry step onto the platform and leap into the ocean. All right, here we are with Harry. Totally trustworthy. Definitely not going to kill us. Turn to page 102. For a second I thought, are we like wearing a full suit or like those are our bare legs? I'm confused. What kind of outfit is this? I was like, oh no, it's not. One batch of ocean looks just like any other. Well, these aren't scientists. Oh right. One batch of ocean looks just like, well, I mean, we're definitely not scientists. I think I think we're never going to be scientists. I think it takes more than just like really liking dolphins to be a scientist. What do you call someone who studies dolphins? Like a cetaceanist? Cetaceans? I don't know. Something like that. Page 102. You descend slowly through silvery blue layers of ocean, straining to see what's on the bottom. The first thing you see is a submerged coral reef running along the ocean floor, like the backbone of a mountain ridge. Strange and beautiful plants and coral formations protrude from the reef. Hundreds of colorful species of fish swim about. Then you see an astonishing sight: the ruins of an underwater stone building, its roof missing, its columns broken or fallen. There's a smaller building beside it, mostly intact, and nearby is a row of columns with arched spans supporting what's left of a marble roof. You found the underwater city, the playground of the dolphins. You look off to the one side and almost faint with fear. A shark is coming at you. A second later you realize it's not a shark, but a dolphin. But why is it coming so close? Maybe it wants you to pet it. You hold out your arms. The dolphin just wants a pet. The dolphin wants a hug. You hold out your arms. The dolphin nuzzles into your stomach, causing you to bend forward. You wrap your arms around its snout, trying to reduce the pressure on your stomach. The dolphin is not hurting you, but it keeps moving, propelling you upward even more steeply until you break through the surface, still perched on its nose. With a final thrust, the dolphin tosses you high in the air. You come down with a tremendous splash. A second later, another dolphin sends Harry even higher in the air, and he too lands with a splash. Splash? Wouldn't it be cool if, like, the movie Splash was real? They should do a Choose Your Own Adventure that's, like, about the Splash movie. We play the part of... You can either choose to play the part of Tom Hanks or... oh gosh, I forget her name. No, she was in Blade Runner. Okay. A tremendous thrust. Yeah, take it. The Dolphins are like trying to tell us something here. Then the Dolphins are gone, and Captain Bob is yelling to you from the boat. That was incredible. You two okay? Harry must be. He's laughing so hard he gets water down his windpipe. He starts coughing and wheezing and barely makes it to the boat. Captain Bob helps him aboard, then gives you a hand up over the rail. There are ruins of a city down there, you say as you step aboard. It's amazing. You sit on the deck, rubbing your chest. Your rib cage is a little sore from having been pushed so hard by the dolphin. Captain Bob slaps his knee. We've got it made, he cries. Whole city down there. Plenty of treasure, I bet, and nothing but dolphins to guard it. Why would dolphins guard treasure, you ask? Gold and jewels aren't worth anything to them. Just the same, Captain Bob says, I'm sure there's something valuable down there, and I'm going to find out what it is. I don't want to go down there again, Harry says. Dolphins might get rougher next time. I'll dive down there myself and take my spear gun, Captain Bob says. I think the dolphins, excuse me, I think the dolphins would be smart enough to stay clear of me. I'm going to drink some water. I think it's time to say goodbye to Captain Bob. That's the end of him. Dolphins probably spear him with his own spear gun. Yeah, I'll dive down there myself and take my spear gun, Captain Bob says. I think the dolphins would be smart enough to stay clear of me. Turn to page 116. Oh, Daryl Hannah. Yeah, thank you, Rachel. God, I couldn't remember her name. Like at the end of the splash book, you decide, do you want to go to the underwater city with Daryl Hannah, or do you want to just like go back on the land? Oh wait. Oh wait. Forgot what page we were going to. Whoops. Doing that. Excuse me. That 83. And 116. Got nudged by some dolphins. Oh, okay, page 116, yes. Harry stands up and looks over the side. There are several dolphins cruising along on the surface, about 100 feet away. He turns back to Captain Bob. Listen, Skipper, I think we'd better get out of here. I got bad feelings about what's going to happen if we stay around. Captain Bob looks over at you. What do you think? You're the one who got us out here. Are you with me or not? If you decide to dive again with Captain Bob, turn to page 93. If you advise Captain Bob to take the hint and leave, turn to page 60. So do you want to take the hint and leave? Or should we dive again with Captain Bob? I thought Captain Bob was just going to like dive by themselves. And then he'd be like, we never saw Captain Bob again. We thought we heard some screaming under the water, but weren't sure. You leave. Take the hint. Yeah. Take the hint, Bob. Time to get out of here. No treasure for us. Wait, why did we think that why did we say the dolphins don't value like treasure and everything? Why would they care about that? When originally we thought there was treasure there. It's like, oh no, I brought you guys out here. I thought there might be treasure. You know, and now I realized, why would dolphins want treasure? Oh. Alright. Captain, let's get out of here, you say. The skipper scowls. He doesn't move. Harry steps towards him. Let's put it this way, he says. If you want to dive, you'll have to swim home. Captain Bob cusses under his breath. Okay, you've made your point. He throws the engine into gear and turns the wheel. The Amilu heads south towards land and picks up speed. You stand at the back of the boat looking through binoculars. A school of dolphins is churning up the water, leaping high out of the ocean and sending up huge sheets of water as they splash down. They almost seem to be dancing as if they're happy that you left. Here's that dolphin again. Go to page 101. The next day, back on Kauai, you book the next plane to the mainland. When you get home, you read every magazine and newspaper article about dolphins you can get your hands on. Only one article catches your eye. It tells of a yacht named the Sea Fox that mysteriously sank in fair weather about 90 miles north of the island of Kauai. The men who were on it, most of whom had criminal records, were found days later, drifting in their life raft. They seemed frightened out of their wits and wouldn't tell anyone what had happened, but they all swore they'd never go near the spot again. You can't help smiling when you read this. You're sure the men who were rescued were trying to take treasure from the dolphins. The animals must have taught them quite a lesson. Or actually, the animals must have taught them quite a lesson, but I think it just meant them quite a lesson. You whistle a tune and walk with a light step for the rest of the day. You have a feeling that no one will disturb the dolphins again. You'll always be able to think of them chasing fish, calling to each other, playing among the ruins, and living free from care in their underwater city. The end. Well, that's a good ending. We didn't get killed. I wonder what would happen if we'd gone down to the city with Captain Bob. Probably some terror. Yeah, we would have gotten murdered. There we are. So, and that scene never actually happened. Just like we thought. We never actually went to the underwater city with a dolphin right next to us as our pal. Maybe that was a scene that really happened just before the dolphin started nudging us up into the surface. But does look like a cool underwater city. Wonder if there's an ending where we hang out in the underwater city with the dolphins. But we didn't find it though. So this was a good one. This was fun. It's a lot like the other books that involve undersea exploration. It's very similar. But I wish the dolphins had gotten involved sooner. Oh, you're welcome, Sue. Thanks for watching. Alright, I guess I'll stop here. I hope you enjoyed this story. And look at these other books. Gotta find these. Through the Black Hole. Or did we already do that one? I think we did. Oh, Stock Car Champion. That sounds like fun. The first. Oh, we just read the first Olympics. Vampire Express. I'm not sure if we read that one. I think I'm going to stay away from Master of Kung Fu and Return of the Ninja. I don't think we're going to go there. But yeah, we actually have read a lot of these. Captive. I remember reading that one, so. Anyways, yeah. Oh yeah, this is back in the day. You actually could send this page. You'd cut this page out and send a check. Send a check or a money order with this page that you cut out, and you just check the ones that you want. This is how you got things before the internet, which that's it's funny to think about. We'd write your address there. Wow, look how cheap they were. Yeah, we read Worst Day of Your Life, You Are a Millionaire, You Are a Genius, First Olympics, Space Vampire. I don't think we read Ghost Hunter, Vampire. I don't think we read Vampire Express though. Huh. Anyways, yeah, a check or a money order. That's it. Do not send cash. No cash or CODs, please. Yeah, I guess in case you don't have a checking account, you can still do a money order. Wow. Things are... Back in my day, you had to send a check or a money order. So, yeah. Bet we are not a genius at all, and you are a genius. Did we read that one? You Are a Genius?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think we did. It's somewhere. Maybe I'll... In Vampire Express, yeah, I think I was going to get that at one point, but it was I got all these books on, I'm not making, they're not cutting me a check, speaking of checks, but I get all these books from thrift books. And their prices vary depending on how many copies of a book they currently have in stock. So the more copies of the book they have in stock, and like in general, like the more copies of the book they have in stock, the less it costs. But if they only have like one copy of the book in stock, the price can be like completely ridiculous. Like they've had like situations where they had like one copy of a Choose Your Own Adventure book in stock, and like the price was $50 or something. And it's like, I like Choose Your Own Adventure, but I don't like Choose Your Own Adventure that much. So usually the books are like a bit more reasonably priced because they have more than just one. So oh, I do have. Should I show the one I'm going to read for the holidays? Yeah. Just someone to give people a preview. So just to give you guys a preview, I'll probably read this the last week of December. So I'll be reading this one. It's actually not. It's not a Choose Your Own Adventure, but it's almost like a parody of a Choose Your Own Adventure. It's called a Choose Your Own Misery. It was actually written by these two people, Mike McDonald and Jilly Gagnon. I believe they were former writers for The Onion. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be pretty hilarious. But I was gonna have that be a surprise, like the week of, but I figured why not give you guys a little preview. So, but it should be funny. This should be good. Send a check or money order for $29.99 to Songs for Praise, Columbia House Records, Burbank, California. Yeah, those were the days. All right, well, I guess I'll stop here. Yeah, I'll see you guys. Oh, yeah, for sure, it's going to be a big downer. I mean, look, it's got Santa Claus in the bathtub with the toaster in the bathtub still plugged in. So, yeah. I don't think that's going to be. It's going to be funny though. I mean, if you like the Onion humor, So, okay. Bye, Rachel. Bye, everybody. See you all in 1 week. Take care.